Good morning, hello, welcome to the beautiful Presili Hills. I've got an intrepid band of runners with me. Rosie, Pip, Christine, Helen, and we're about to run from source in the beautiful Presili Hills to the sea, the length of the eastern Cleddau. It's going to be a beautiful day. We're at the top of the hill, we're ready to make our way down to the river, but from beneath these hills the fresh water flows, and we're going to learn about the river as we go down to the sea. So join us and we'll see you at the end.
Water is inextricably bound to the legends, history and communities of Pembrokeshire. The iconic River Cleddau, which starts in the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park before leaving and then returning downstream, is a special river and a reminder of the vitally important role that rivers have in connecting communities, wildlife and thriving habitats at land, coast and sea. Unfortunately, the River Cleddau is also in decline. Campaign for National Parks Rivers at Risk report found that 82% of the river's water bodies are failing to achieve good ecological status. 72% of failures are due to agriculture and rural land management, whilst the water industry is responsible for 22%. In 2024, 34,000 hours of sewage overflow were released into the river. Let's see for ourselves what's going on.
No, yeah, maybe today.
Maybe.
So, 2k in, and we've come down to Mynachloch V, and we're going to do some water testing with Project Cleddau. Oh, Cleddau Project, sorry. So yeah, let's find the river.
Meeting the Cleddau Project was an inspiring start to the day. It sparked a conversation as we ran about the importance of citizen science in monitoring the health of rivers. It was clear that the river habitat was natural, clean and relatively unaffected by pollution at the start of our journey, but it wasn't long until we left the national park boundary and the river began to widen as we ran through fields and ancient woodland.
Wow, there it is.
It would be interesting to see how our perceptions might change as we headed toward Reed Willem to find out the first set of test results from Jim.
So we're back with Jim
Nitrates and phosphate.
after a few fields, a few diversions. What have we got? The results from earlier, Jim?
The phosphate was nothing 0.48 and the nitrate was nothing 0.4.
So pretty low. Is that typical? Typical for that?
It was it's a little bit better than it was 2 weeks ago.
Great.
Yeah.
Coming into Gareth now, and going to meet Jake, a local fisherman. Been fishing on this river for years. We're going to meet Jill as well, who's going to do a water test and see how different that is from further upstream.
Yeah, I mean, I started fishing these rivers when I was in my teens. Actually, I was probably about 11 years old, in fact. Back then, even though I wasn't very good at fishing, we did actually catch salmon and sewin, and in particular eels, in big numbers. I'm much more proficient fisherman now, some years later. The numbers of migratory fish are significantly down, and the eels are almost non-existent, I'm afraid to say. I mean, I think water quality plays a part. I think there's a number of factors. I think it's very difficult to say that there's one answer. There's a cohort of factors.
From Gethley, we continued our run, encountering a huge quantity of Himalayan balsam smothering the plants along the river. We ran towards Blackpool Mill, where we re-entered the national park and past Welsh Water's pumping station. This got us talking about the quantity of sewage ending up in the river, and how looking at the surface of the river couldn't give us the full picture. Jill sent through her water testing results by text later, showing almost 3 times the level of phosphate in the river at Gethley than we had found further upstream. This was definitely an eye-opening moment.
So we're gonna be soon coming up to Di Clement's farm. She's been farming the land for around 30 years, and she's also been, well, she is on the board of the National Park Authority, so it'll be really interesting to talk to her about her farming journey and also the national park. I think we're back in the national park now.
Yeah, I think historically farmers tended to use inorganic manufactured fertiliser. Successive governments from really World War II have encouraged that with subsidies and various other funding streams without really any consideration for where that would be going. It was about producing as much food as possible and not worrying about the environmental impacts. Because of the greater understanding of what's going in the river, we've spent a lot of time and effort soil sampling all our fields, and we realised that actually they were lacking in quite a lot of lime, and so we've spent a lot of time and effort liming our fields, which then in turn means we don't actually have to put as much inorganic or manufactured fertiliser on our fields. As a farmer, I can help people who think they know what is needed to understand what we do, and we need to understand what we can do to aid that cleaning up of the river, because we know it's polluted and it's quite depressing really, but we also are aware that it's not our river, it just passes through and we don't own it. So many other people that rely on it, want it, need it.
So, coming into land shipping now, and we're going to meet Alan. Girls are still going strong. I'm not so much. I'm dying.
Yeah, Alan Lewis, originally from Langham, which is just downriver. Born and lived inside the river all my life. Always been here. Been fishing on it since I was a kid. So my old boat in the background there is 150 years old. I'm one of the last 6 compass netsmen. Yeah, there's definitely not as much life in the river as there was years ago. There'd be large shoals of, well, there were a lot of salmon about, a lot of sewin, prawns, flounder, everything was here in quantity years ago. The river system further up in the freshwater just can't sustain the life that it used to. You're upriver now, you go and look around, you get no minnows, no fry, there's no aquatic life, no weed. The rivers are sort of dying or dead.
Alan's dog joined us for the next stretch of the run as we began to travel along the estuary edge. Agricultural and sewage pollution are key challenges contributing to poor water quality in the river. Most of it goes unseen, but the evidence was starting to become much clearer at the water's edge.
Here we are, coming into the estuary proper now. It's really wide, opens up to the sea. 42k, no, 41k. I think I might be shot here. The rest of the guys are in front. Running towards Gareth Pill now. Knees are in bits. These guys keep me going.
As we got to Gareth Pill, 3 kilometres from the finish, we saw some of the evidence of excessive nutrients in the river up close, with algal blooms on the shoreline. Poor water quality in the river also impacts our marine environment. As the pollution flows out to sea, it affects fish populations and the ability of precious habitats like seagrass to grow. From Gareth Pill, it was time for the final stretch through the beautiful Llywelyn Woods, a flowing trail through beautiful trees and the estuary stretching out to our right. And with that, it was over. 50 kilometres along the length of the eastern Cleddau, done. We arrived early in the morning, looking out over the beautiful Presili Hills and the clear waters that flow from them. But after running from source to sea, we left with a deeper understanding of the complex challenges facing rivers in our national parks, their links to the marine and coastal environment, and the vital need to prioritise actions that will help restore our most precious rivers.